Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly coaching webinar today. Today's going to be a cool day because today what we're going to do is we're going to walk through scripting. We're going to talk about not just how to script, but I'm actually going to show you some scripts that we've been testing over the last couple months. And I shouldn't say testing, I should say perfecting over the last couple months on a bunch of different campaigns. And then because you're here during the live session, I'm even going to share the link for you to actually have access to these scripts. Everything I show you here will be available at the end of the webinar. I'm going to share the link. You'll have access, and everybody will have access at some point in the future as well. As a matter of fact, in your step-by-step training, in step 4.2, where we go through how to do presentations, we will make the scripts available. I've already submitted that to development to get done. I don't know when that will happen. Usually it takes about a day to 2 days for development to get that done and put in there. But because you're here during the live session, you're going to have access to the actual scripts and everything we're going to go over here today at the end of this. So I want to walk through, talk to you about a lot of different things involved with setters and hiring setters and training salespeople and developing scripts because I know it can really help you. You know, I've always said that there's two parts to this equation. I don't care what you sell. You've got to get leads. You got to close those leads. And what I like about that way of thinking is that that's really helped me grow Credit Suite to be a pretty good sized company and getting bigger very fast, because those are the two things I focus on. When I focus on the front end marketing growth, I focus on how can I get the best leads and what is the best process to get these leads closed. And to me, those are really the only two fundamental aspects of the equation. If you can get leads in the door and close them, then you're going to make a lot of money. Don't care what you sell. The beautiful thing about you and I, with the world that we live in, and what attracted me to business credit financing, is this world is very lucrative because we're selling products worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And as a result of that, it doesn't take a lot of sales to make a lot of money for us. Now, I have a big company, right? We have a lot of employees and a lot of overhead and those type of things. But when I started with business credit, it was me working from home, doing my own thing. And that was pretty cool because I could sell 4 deals in a month and I could make $10,000, $12,000 just doing that handful of deals. So no matter how big or small you are, it's really cool and powerful to be at the price point that we are, especially if you can master those two aspects, how to get leads and how to close them. And today we're going to talk about that second aspect, because what we've done is in the last few months, we've got basically a very good sized office here, and we basically put together a call floor. And if you're not familiar with the call floor, maybe you haven't been into an actual call center environment, but this is where we have a lot of different stations, a lot of people dialing, doing a lot of different kind of campaigns. And what this has allowed us to do is it's given us the ability to test everything I'm going to show you here today. So we actually know that this works. We've actually seen deals close. We've seen people come in from financing using this exact script. We've perfected it when we've had objections and run into obstacles and fine-tuned and fine-tuned and fine-tuned to really develop some things that work very well. As a matter of fact, we discovered some pretty groundbreaking things that I think will change I know will change fundamentally how we do business forever. And I hope that you can gain the same benefit and knowledge that we have, because the benefit of our partnership is that we test this stuff and make sure that it works. And then we come to you and say, hey, boom, here is the effective proven model that we know works for you to go out and implement. So this is exciting for me because in the past, in the last 5 years, I've constantly told you how to do a real live presentation and not really ever been able to produce effective scripts that we've tested and proven because we've never had those kind of campaigns working. In the last couple months, I've been able to go through that process firsthand, help develop scripts that actually work, and now give you things where you really have the ability to even put cold leads and cold traffic in to a funnel or into a campaign, start working them, and actually start making sales. So pretty exciting stuff today because I'm going to map out that second part of the process. And actually, you know what? We're going to talk a lot about the first part too, how you get the leads. And then we're going to spend the majority of the day talking about how to close the leads. Now, for those of you that know me well, you know that when I get excited, I tend to talk a little bit fast. So I'll try to slow myself down, but I'm pretty excited here because I really think that what we found is groundbreaking because we found an effective way to close just about any type of lead you can get in the door. It's just a matter of on you then to get leads in the door, which we'll talk about some ways you could do so. So first of all, let me talk to you about two different kinds of scripts we're going to go over today. We're going to go over not just scripts. I'm going to walk you through this whole process. I'm going to show you a bunch of cool stuff, but we're going to start with what are called setter scripts. And we basically have discovered that the most effective way to make sales is a two-person process. You have a setter, and I'm going to show you how to get setters ridiculously cheap. And these are people that call your initial cold data. Maybe they're people that are prospects you already have. Maybe there are a list that you buy that's a raw list. Maybe they're wherever you get leads from. Then the second part of the sales process is your salesman, your closer. Maybe that's you if it's a one-person shop, or it's somebody else on your team that's qualified to be able to sell and close. But here's the cool thing. Even if you don't have people that are actually on your team now that have the ability to sell and close, then having the scripts and a presentation that's tested and proven makes it much easier for you to hire them. And that's exactly what we did. Is we actually came in and we hired somebody brand new that had no knowledge of business credit financing, that didn't understand anything about our company or the process, and we trained them from the ground up using these scripts to actually be effective in selling business credit financing, because we wanted to not be biased. We wanted to have the same process you could go through to hire somebody from scratch and come in and be able to have success. So now that I've kind of given you a background of what we're going to dive into today, let's actually dive in. Let's actually get started. Let me actually walk you through. I'm going to try to show you how to do this the best way that I can, but I want to change my view here and see if I could just do I might completely mess this up. Oh, I did. I completely messed that up. So let me go back here and see if I can do it this way again. So let me see here. I'm trying to work on fixing this. Okay. So I am going to just stick with me for a minute here. Let me see if I can get my view done. Print layout, read mode. Let's see what read mode is. That's not very good at all. I do not want read mode. So let me go back to layout. Show comments, page color. Man, I'm sorry. I messed that up. So let me go back and try one more thing here. Navigation pane. No. Show comments, column width, page color, layout. Let me go back to paper layout and see if that works. Okay, that's cool. That works perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. It took me a bunch of times, but we found, oh, that didn't work out very well. Okay, anyways, I wanted to show you one page at a time. But it's not going to do this. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to narrow this in. You're going to see my HP fancy background. Haven't put anything on there. And I'm going to make it this big, and then hopefully everybody can see it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this. So the first type of campaign we're going to walk through today is the setter scripts. And let me talk to you about a little bit about what we discovered. So the first thing we did was we hired a new salesperson. We said, okay, we want you to call this kind of data. We dealt with referrals from actual lenders. We dealt with data that we bought. We dealt with qualified people that opted in. We dealt with people that didn't opt in, just cold data. And we had them start to go through a dialer and start actually calling on the leads. And what we found very quickly was that this is a very effective way to burn out a salesperson. A salesperson, from our experience in this experiment, is not there to start actually cold calling a lot of lists, because they get burnt out and frustrated very quickly. They're there to actually close sales. So when we switched to a model where we started hiring setters, or people to call the initial list and set appointments for our actual salespeople, we had massive success. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that success so you can duplicate this. So first thing I want to talk to you about setters is well, there's a few different things. First of all, I'm going to talk to you about hiring setters. So on this script that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to give you a link again at the end of the webinar where you'll be able to download and have everything I have. So don't feel compelled to write all this stuff down or copy this. I just want you to watch and pay attention. We'll talk through this, and then you're going to have access to all the same resources I'm going to show you here at the end. Okay, so the first thing is about hiring a setter. Well, we used a service called Upwork.com. Okay, Upwork.com. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to open my email real quick because I have another resource for you as well that I'm going to give you that are two great places. So when you're hiring a setter, what you're really looking for is you're looking for somebody that speaks crystal clear English. And you can hire somebody in the United States, that's fine. But what we have found is we've found that it's better to, or cheaper to hire somebody in the Philippines, because in the Philippines, we basically were able to hire people for $5 an hour, find really good speaking English people, and it didn't cost us a lot to test this out because they were $5 an hour. So how you hire is we used a site called Upwork, and I cannot modify this document right now, so I can't type in what I want to. Let me see, no, I can't. But there's another one called onlinejobs.ph. onlinejobs.ph, or upwork.com. We used Upwork. So we come through and we basically posted this job ad. And again, you can see I'm making it convenient, right? I put the actual job ad in the script so you could easily copy and paste. We ran this ad within a day. We had people, we're asking them to submit an English supply a voice sample. If they don't supply a voice sample, we immediately 86 them because they obviously don't know how to follow instructions. They do supply a voice sample. We listen, and we were able to find a setter that spoke really good, crystal clear English. As a matter of fact, this worked so well, we had her hire another setter that also speaks crystal clear English. So definitely people on there. And what we pay them is right here. I put this on the script as well. We pay them $5 an hour, 50 cents per transfer appointment, 50 cents per appointment that actually shows up. So 50 cents to schedule an appointment, 50 cents if that appointment shows up as they're supposed to, and then $10 if we actually make a sale, right? Because we're making like a $2,500 sale. So $10, like, we're cool with that. So it doesn't cost a lot of money here to be able to actually have a really good setter. So what is that? $5 a day. 40 hours a week. So that's like $200, $800 a month, basically, to have a full-time setter. You don't have to come in if you're trying to do this on a budget. You can easily hire somebody part-time. We have a part-time and a full-time setter, so you can easily hire somebody part-time as many hours as you want to. So here's the job that we ran. Here's where we ran the job. Here's how much we actually paid. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need a scheduler, because what you want to do is you want to have your setter schedule appointments. Now, if you're in a situation where you could do a live transfer, that works really well. But what we found was a lot of our salesmen were on the phone. When the setter tried to transfer the call, it didn't work. So we defaulted and went to an appointment setup, which seemed to be very, very good. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how to get people to actually show up for the appointments as well. We use a service called Schedule Once. I love them and I hate them. Actually, let me take that back. I don't like to use the word hate. I love them and I don't like them. I love them because they function well with Infusionsoft. And what we set up in Schedule Once could be set up to happen in Infusionsoft, our CRM, which is awesome. What I don't like about them is they're very difficult. To get everything working as it should takes a tremendous amount of time. Once you make it through 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's easier, but a lot of time is developed for the setup, and they're ridiculously expensive. We now have a handful of people that have the ability to schedule appointments, cost about $300 a month, ridiculously expensive. So I also recommend a service called Calendly. Calendly, and again, you don't have to write all this down. You're going to get access to these scripts and this info. Calendly is free. It costs nothing. I used to use Calendly. I don't use Calendly now because I needed something that integrated with Infusionsoft. But I'll tell you what I did. I started with the free one, Calendly, and then after I proved concept and started making money, then we went up to Schedule Once. I recommend you do the same, right? If you know me well, you know I'm ridiculously cheap. I like to do things really cheap or free until I prove concept, and then I'll invest a little bit of the money that I've made on that thing actually working. Same thing with a calendar. I used Calendly for over a year myself, and then as we started doing this, we used Calendly, and then we moved to Schedule Once we started realizing that these consultations were the way to go. So what are you going to have a setter do? Well, you're going to have a setter come in and basically schedule a consultation, as you're going to see with the script. Now, I've given you 3 examples here, and the number one you probably want to look at is right here, creditsuite.com/free-business-credit-report-and-score. There you go. Now, again, and what I'll do is I might just go ahead and type this in right here, copy this, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat so you guys actually have access to this. No, you didn't miss it, Chris, where this is going on right now. Is anyone here? Yes, Miss Danielle, I'm here. Okay, so here it is. I typed it in the chat. Now, this is actually one of the offers. Now, what we found is these offers work really, really well. So there's 3 different offers we've tested and proven to work really well. Offering them a free business credit consultation, offering them a free loan consultation, or offering them a free business credit report and score. Now, I talk about in the description mention here how you can get access to the credit reports. We actually signed up with Experian. It was fairly easy to do, and Experian lets us get reports at $8 a report with a minimum of $195 a month. With the volume we do, that's within our budget. That's fine. There's also a great one called Credit Safe, and Credit Safe costs $500 and we get 50,000 business credit reports. It's not as accurate. It doesn't have a lot of the information that you get on a DMB or Experian report and score, but it's cheap. It cost us $500 to get 50,000 reports. So like that's more reports than we'll even use in a year's time easily, and it was cheap to get. If you don't want to spend money, you don't have to. Go with the free business credit consultation or the free loan approach instead. I'm going to copy all these and put them in the chat so you can see exactly how we worded it, and you could basically come in and duplicate our process. So this is what you're going to do. Your setter's going to call, and your setter's basically going to do, probably, depending on the script we look at, is going to offer them something in return for an appointment, which is basically a free consultation. So that gives you the background. Let's look at the actual script. So on the script, bolding means upbeat, raise your voice. We're talking about tonality. That's something we want to go on to an upbeat. So for example, when you see awesome, awesome is on an upbeat. So that's how we do the scripts. So script one here, we basically use is a primary interview. This doesn't have anything to do with one of the offers I just showed you. This was an approach that we used basically that combines intelligence gathering or an information script with a way to actually set them up and get them into an appointment. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So we started this and did it a couple different ways. We did it with cold leads that we purchased. We did it with people that opted in that we purchased. And we also did this with leads that were referred to us as turn downs by a lender. So the script, hi, my name is blank, your name, and the reason for the call is blank had forwarded your information over to us indicating you're looking to obtain some funding for your business. Is that something you're still looking for? Now, you can modify this any way you want to. Maybe you didn't get the loan for the referral. Maybe they inquired and opted in online, and you just change it to the reason for the call is you opted in or you requested information online about obtaining business funding. That's going to have to be modified depending on like where you got the lead from, right? But it's not very many words that ever have to be changed. The reason for the call is whatever the reason for the call is. How did you get the information over to us? Okay. So how did you get the information? Did they opt in online? Were they referred by somebody that turned them down? Did they come from an affiliate? Whatever it is, those 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 words are going to have to be changed. Whoever sent us your information indicating you're looking to obtain some funding for your business, is that something you're still looking for? Now, we found in almost all cases the answer is absolutely yes, unless we purchased really bad data. So we had some sources that said these people opted in online. The people had no idea what we're talking about. So it depends on the quality of the leads you're getting, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we dive into. Okay, awesome. We can definitely help with that. We specialize in getting you funding and credit when others can't, and much of the funding we work with has great rates, and you can get your money very quickly. Now, that's what upbeats are. So you see me raising my voice and going to an upbeat when I have it bolded. Tell me a little bit about your business. Okay, this is an opener to get them talking about their business. And you might have to dip in a little deeper. I mean, like, what do you do? Like, what industry are you in? But usually when we found that when we're talking to these people, they're very anxious and excited to talk about their business. Wow, sounds interesting. What are some of the biggest issues or problems you're dealing with now? Now, what we're doing is getting them talking about their pain, what the problem is that they're having. We already confirmed at this point that they're looking for money online. More than likely, or looking for money. More than likely, they're looking for money to solve whatever the biggest problem they actually have is. So we get them talking about what that problem is. So how are things going to look for you once you get your money? So now we're asking them, okay, we're asking them to future pace. We're asking them to visualize and tell us, once we solve this problem, once we can get it solved, then what's business going to look like, okay? So if you're telling me that the problem you're having is that you only have one tow truck on the road and you need 2, well, then what's going to happen if you put that second tow truck on the road? Well, then I'm going to be able to put another driver on the road. That should double the amount of business I have. That should double my revenue. Well, that's great. Well, what's that revenue going to do for you? Well, that's going to allow me to do A, B, C, D, E. Now they're giving you the ammunition. You've got them in a state where they're thinking about what life is going to look like when you solve the problem. They're also giving you and your setter ammunition to be able to close a sale or move them along the process, because you know they're struggling, you know they want money, you know they're looking to solve a problem, and also in doing so, you also know what their life's going to look like when that problem is solved. Okay, well, that sounds like you have a bright future ahead. We're just glad to be part of it because we love helping smart business owners like you succeed. Now, real quick, let me verify your information. How long have you been in business for? Okay, basic question. What type of monthly revenue does your business have? What is your normal ending balance in your bank account each month? Now, this is a great question because what this question does is it allows you to know if the person has the money to pay for business credit. There's two things we're doing here. We're seeing if the person can immediately qualify for funding. We're also pre-qualifying them to see if they actually have money to actually pay for the business credit program. What do you think your credit score is now? Just a guesstimate. The just a guesstimate part is just like saying, hey, no big deal. No big deal. Just what do you think it is roughly? All we care about here is, do they have good credit to get unsecured financing or don't they? Okay, so just a guesstimate. What type of credit card limits and balances do you have now? A second qualifier. Once they go through this script, we know how much money they keep in average on their bank account, what kind of limits they have, or what their available amount is on their credit cards. So in doing so, we've now qualified them to see if they actually can if they have the money to pay for the business credit program. Do you have any type of collateral? We have some loan programs that can get you money based on your business bank account. What's your normal ending monthly balance? Actually, that should go right up here. That's actually part of that question. Then, based on their answers, we've got 1, 2, or 3 things we're going to do. And I'm going to have to modify this a little, but you're going to have to modify it, and then the one I put in the back office will be modified. And we have a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3 based on what their answers are. If they have monthly revenue, okay, or they have collateral, if they have money in their bank account, okay, or if they don't have any of these. So what we're talking about is, can they get funding? Then we go to number 1. Can they not get funding, but can they be a good candidate for business credit, meaning they have the money to pay for business credit, number 2. Or number 3 is, look, they're broke and they don't qualify for funding. So number 1, okay, number 2, and number 3. Okay, if they can't qualify for anything else. So again, if they're not looking for money, then that's something we're going to go. If they're not actually looking for money, if they have revenue, and I'm going to make some changes here because I can actually see a little bit of discrepancies as we modified things and we didn't actually modify them on here. So number 1's really about they're not looking for money. Number 2's, did they qualify for funding? Number 3 is they have the money to pay for business credit. And number 2, they qualified for some kind of funding. Based on what you just told me, you're a perfect fit for business credit and funding. Let me schedule some time for you to speak with blank, who's our business credit and funding specialist on our team now, so he can work with getting you some money. Will tomorrow at blank time work for you? So what we've done is we went through a script to see if they can get money. We verified they can, and now we schedule the appointment and we set the appointment. Now, something else we added down the road, which I don't have here, which was pretty cool and pretty effective, was as we got off the phone, we had the setter say, hey, you know what, Mike? Hey, listen, man, I think you got an awesome business, and it looks like you're really going to be successful, and I've enjoyed talking with you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have Pat give you a free business credit report and score while you guys are on your call. Okay, and again, surveys have found this, and I don't know if you've looked and heard of this experiment once with mints from servers. So what they did was they did an experiment where a server came by and left a mint with the bill, and then they walked away and they go, you know what? They came back. You know what? You guys were awesome to deal with. I had a lot of fun. Here's 2 extra mints. I just wanted to thank you. And what they found was that tips extraordinarily went up when people did that second step and said, hey, I like you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Here's some extra. So we actually added that to script to get them to actually show up for appointments, which I'm going to add that to this modified script to make sure you have it. Okay. And it worked really well because our goal is not just to get people on the appointments. Our goal is to get people to show up for the appointments, not just make them. Okay. The second part of this is business credit. If they can't qualify for anything else, or if they want business credit, then we offer them the business credit as well. Based on what you just told me, you're a perfect fit for business credit. To get an immediate loan, you need to either have consistent cash flow, good credit, or collateral. But since you don't have any of those now, you don't have a lendable strength. So my goal for you is to get you a lendable strength and in the process, help you get access to money. Does that sound like a good plan? Yes or no? If they say no, bye-bye. We don't care. That means they're not interested in business credit. If they say yes, then you move forward with exactly the same phrase to schedule the appointment. So what's ultimately happening here is you've got a setter that's going through a qualification script and determining, can they get money? Yes. Or can they not get money, but do they have an interest in business credit? And do they have money to pay for business credit? Yes. If the person can qualify for a loan or can get business credit and it has an interest in business credit and can pay for it, then we schedule the actual appointment. Again, I already showed you everything else, right? I showed you how to hire the setter, where to get the scheduler to schedule the appointment, all those type of things. So let's go into a different version here. Script 2, much simpler, right? Script 2, 3, 4 are very simple. They're only a matter of a few paragraphs. So after this worked very effectively, we said, well, you know what? Let's see if we can simplify this. Let's give a simpler script without all these qualifications just to get them into a free consultation. We want them to get them into a free business credit consultation. Why? Because we have figured this out. What we figured out is that we used to get people in our funnel and wait for them to call us and tell us they're ready to buy. And then we started offering people these consultations, which are in your chat: the free business credit, the free business loan consultation, the free business credit report and score consultations. And what we found is that people were hyper responsive to all three of these offers. They wanted to get into a consultation, and the consultation is basically just a sales pitch for our team anyways, which we're going to get into the closing scripts here a little bit later. So again, we thought, well, this has worked so well for our existing customers. They respond to emails this way. So what would happen if we were to call our existing prospects or to call cold data and offer them one of these actual free consultations? So that's what script 2 is. Okay, we use this to offer a free Experian report and score. Now, again, as I talked about in the beginning, if you're not set up to get Experian credit reports, which you can go to Experian and work out a deal like we did and get them for $8 per report, is exactly how much that we pay on the wholesale side. Probably don't want to tell them I said that. I don't want us to get in trouble. Don't know if they want us to tell you that or not. This webinar obviously isn't publicized. It's only for our partners anyways. But you want to go in and negotiate a deal. And the deal we were able to negotiate was less than $8 a month, a minimum of $195. And in doing so, we're able to get as many Experian reports as we're willing to pay for. Again, if you don't want to do that, go with Credit Safe. They've got an even better deal. They just don't have as good a data as what you find with Experian. So here's this condensed script. Hi, prospect first name. My name is blank from, so my name is Ty from Credit Suite. And the reason for my call is that you were inquiring with us about getting business credit funding. Now, this script is for an active prospect, somebody in our database now. I'm going to show you a script here in a minute that's not from somebody in our database. This month, we're reviewing Experian reports and scores with some of our select subscribers. And I wanted to know if you're interested in going over your Experian business report. There's absolutely no cost to you, and we'll even give you a copy of your Credit Safe business credit report as well. Why am I saying this? Because we're not allowed to give out somebody's Experian report. We have the ability to pull Experian reports and review it with somebody, but we can't physically give them a copy of that report. Experian prohibits it. So what we found a way around it is we give them a copy of Credit Safe report and we review their Experian, which is why that's being presented that way. We have some time tomorrow to go over your report at 2 for consultations to see the credit and financing you can get now. Will that time work for you? Great. I'll get you scheduled right now. Now, again, some of our setters obviously fend off questions here. Well, I have my Dun & Bradstreet report is one of the questions that they asked our setter. Well, what happens on my consultation was one of the questions that actually offered my setter. What if I'm brand new in business? Should I look at my report? So again, your setters are going to get some questions that on the fly they may need to contend with, and then all they do is Skype me the question and I give them the answer. And what I found is after about 2 days of calling, they'd asked me just about every question they were getting asked they didn't know an answer to. And then from that point forward, I didn't hear from the setters. They're just off making actual calls. So let me give you an idea of the kind of results that this produced. So what we said was, hey, this report I think might work. We send an email to our database and we booked 23 appointments for people that wanted the same offer. So we said, what would happen if we put a setter, 2 setters on and had them call the same prospects and tried to set up an appointment by phone? Well, the answer is 18 per day. we are setting up 18 appointments per day by them calling our existing prospects that we have in our database now and setting up appointments for our sales team, which are basically sales presentations for our sales team to close. This will double the amount of appointments that we do in a normal month. Pretty awesome. But what happens if you don't have a big database like we do? Well, then that's when we move on to script 3. So script 3 is really the same as the one above. The difference is this one is designed for somebody that's not in your existing database. Hi, prospect, first name. My name is Ty from Credit Suite. The reason for my call is that this month we're reviewing Experian reports and scores. Actually, this one is the one. That is it. This is a shorter version. So let me go back. This is just like the one I just showed you, but this is a shorter version that we still used for our existing prospects. Hi, Joe. My name is Ty from Credit Suite. The reason for my call is that this month we're reviewing Experian reports and scores with some of our select subscribers, and I wanted to know if you're interested in going over your Experian business report. We have some time tomorrow at blank to go over your report for a consultation to see the credit and financing you can get now. Will that time work for you? Much shorter, right? So what we basically did was we eliminated this whole part about the credit safe. And they usually go with this one because it's a little bit of a shorter script. They tend to like that. Now, the next script is the same, shorter script, but this one is designed for a cold prospect, not somebody that's in our database now. Hey, it's Ty from Credit Suite. The reason for my call is we specialize in helping business owners get credit financing for their companies. And this month, we're reviewing Experian reports and scores with business owners. And I want to know if you're interested in going over your Experian business report. We have some time tomorrow at 2 o'clock to go over your report for a consultation to see the credit and financing you can get now. Will that time work for you? So this actually we found works for brand new cold traffic. Not as well, right? We booked about half as many appointments with cold traffic as we do people that already know us. Not a surprise there. But this is something you could use for blanket lists that you call. Now, also keep in mind, as I talked about earlier, it doesn't have to be this free credit report and score that you're offering. Remember, I showed you 3 different offers: a business credit consultation, a business loan consultation, which don't have to include credit reports. So you don't have to give away a credit report and score if you don't want to pay a service to obtain business credit reports and scores. So you've got several options here. You can do exactly what I'm showing you here, which works really well if you're willing to pay through the couple sources I mentioned to get business reports, or you're also able to do this without it and just offer the business credit and loan consultation. Depending on the list, you're going to have to test to see what works best. We also even have a voicemail script. They often reach voicemails, and the dialer that we use is from Fix Your Funnel. It integrates with Infusionsoft, and they record this voicemail once, and then whenever they reach voicemail, they click a button, and it automatically drops this voicemail, and they're on to the next call. And the voicemail says, "My name is blank. Hey, my name is Ty from Credit Suite. My phone number is X. That's X, whatever that number is again. The reason for my call is that you were inquiring with us about getting business credit funding. Give me a call back because this month we're reviewing Experian reports and scores with some of our select subscribers, and I wanted to know if you're interested in going over your business credit report. Again, this is Ty with Credit Suite. My number is blank." So this is even a voicemail script that you can modify for whatever script you're actually using. So pretty cool. This walks through and finalizes the actual setter scripts. So we've already kind of went over and showed you how to hire setters, what the offers are that you're going over, how to use the scheduler to schedule appointments. We've talked about a big script that's a qualifying script that you can use. We've also talked about several smaller scripts that just have to do with some kind of free offer: business credit consultation, business loan consultation, or business credit report and score. And the job here of the setter is to get an appointment scheduled for the actual salesman. And you've seen their actual commission scale where they get bonused here and paid bonuses based on the appointments that show up, the appointments that are made, and the actual sales that are made. Now, with Schedule Once, we have them get text and email reminders of the appointment, which helps the show up rate. We've also have somebody else on our team call, that's another person from the Philippines, that's another setter, call to verify the appointment the day of or the day before. So we've got those safeguards to try to make sure that as many people show up as possible. And we have about 30 to 40% don't show. So we usually average about 30% that don't show with those safeguards. We text them the appointment details from the scheduler. They email it. That happens all automatically. We don't do that. Then we have somebody call and verify the appointment. And then again, I told you a little trick about saying, hey, I really like you. By the way, I'm going to get you this on the consultation call at no cost. Just do me a favor. Don't embarrass me. Make sure you show up. If you can't show up, give me a call is what we add. So with those safeguards, we have a better chance of getting somebody to actually show up. If they don't show up, then we have our sales team tag them in our CRM, and then we send them some emails and give them and say, oops, you missed your appointment, and we give them a choice to reschedule the actual appointment. So that addresses not just how to do all this, but some of the other tricks and tactics that we've learned to try to get people to show up, as many of them as possible, and how to get the people that didn't show up back into the fold. We'll even have the setter call them again to say, you missed your appointment. Don't forget, we're giving, basically a repeated the script. Hey, we missed you on your appointment time. Don't forget, you're one of our select subscribers, whatever. They repeat this script. So that walks you through a lot of the details that you need to know on the actual setter script. So let's talk a little bit more now about an actual sales script. So now that we've talked about what they do to set the actual appointments, now let's talk a little bit about what they need to do, what you need to do to actually close that sale. So I will tell you that setting appointments is ridiculously effective. Again, what we found was that calling cold traffic, they were able to schedule about 5 to 9 per day, 1.5 setters that's working, one of them 8 hours a day, one of them working 5. And I can tell you that one working 8, one working 5, we're scheduled about 18 using our existing database. So very, very, very effective. So now let's talk a little bit more about sales scripts. So the sales script is the script you're going to use to actually do one of two things. Get the person to actually get you income docs to bring them in as a direct funding customer. If you're not familiar with our direct funding program, you can email eric@creditsuite.com. He'll talk to you all more about that. So direct funding allows you to basically send customers in for funding without selling them anything first. So the first thing we're going to do with this script is see who can get funding. If they can get funding, then we're going to bring them in and get their income docs to get them in for funding. The other thing this script will do is you're actually able to sell them business credit. Okay, so you're actually able to come in and get them sold on business credit as well. So there's one of two different ways you can go, or both. But what we found is both is very confusing. So you need to really commit to one. You're either going to try to sell them business credit on this call, or you're going to try to bring them in for funding on this call, one or the other, okay? But you don't want to do both, because we found both make it ridiculously confusing for the prospect, and they get lost and you lose the actual customer. So one of the things I want to show you is that there's a couple things that we did. One of the things that we did here was we came in and we realized that quickly that people had a credibility issue, especially cold people. People that were in our database, well, heck, they know who we are. Like they opted in, they've been getting our emails, they're getting our sales funnel emails, they're good. But the other people didn't. They didn't know who we were. So this is what we did. We created something called a credibility page. And the credibility page basically has, I love Doug, he's a funny guy. It basically has things that point out our credibility, okay? We have our Trustpilot reviews because we're actually clients of Trustpilot. We pay for this, but there's other review services out there like Google and Yelp that you don't have to pay for, okay? So we don't really have but a few reviews on Yelp, and we don't have enough for Yelp to even show them. In Google, we've only got one positive review because we never pushed people to leave us reviews in those two places. We pushed everybody to Trustpilot. But if you don't want to pay for Trustpilot, well, then go to your friends, your family, go to your customers, your clients, go to the people in your circle, help teach them something about business credit financing, and ask them to leave a positive Google or Yelp review. They're free, okay? Then you could do exactly the same thing here and have Google reviews, Yelp reviews. You can get 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't recommend cheating. You could go to Fiverr.com and you could pay somebody to do testimonials, but that's cheating. I don't believe in cheating. I think you should go to people and really help educate them in exchange for a review, or push your clients or ask or request your prospects and clients to leave you positive reviews. So I'll give you an example. A lot of the initial testimonials that we had as a company were because I went to sessions and I said, hey, look, would you mind giving me a video testimony? If I teach you something now about business credit you don't know, would you mind then doing a video testimonial and talking about how I just taught you something about business credit you didn't know? And they're like, sure, I'll do that. And I'm like, I'll do it for you too. And they're like, cool. So then I'm like, okay, well, this is what business credit is. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, okay, well, let me get a video and you say how great it is that I just taught you stuff that you didn't know. And then they tell me about tax accounting, and then I give them a testimonial in return. It was a great way to initially get testimonials. So if you don't have testimonials from your clients now, it's a great way to get them. Well, there's a couple options here. First of all, if you already have submitted a video testimonial to us, you have access to video testimonials in your back office. There's like 15. If you haven't, then don't submit one about Credit Suite. I don't want you to do that. Then submit one about Business Finance Suite, about the end product that your peers can use. And if you submit that to us at info@creditsuite.com, we immediately get you access to all others. So that way, for example, a lot of the testimonials on our testimonial page come from people that gave us testimonials, and in return, we gave them access to the other testimonials. So that's a great way to do it. So I've given you a few options here. Trustpilot, you pay for. And again, you know how I am. I would not pay for something until you go the free version first. The free version is Yelp or Google reviews, which you can easily push people to that you know, and they can go to Yelp, they can go to Google, they can leave you positive reviews. Then you can create a credibility page like this and have a link to that review site, or two. Probably two. I would have them leave Google and Yelp reviews, not the same. It's got to be a little different between the two that they're leaving. And then you can have a link that says, check out our Yelp reviews, check out our Google reviews. Testimonials. You can easily do, I gave you 2 ways to get testimonials. You can email us info@creditsuite.com and give us a testimonial about the Business Finance Suite, about how the suite helped you get money, how it helped you get credit. If you haven't gone through it yet, what you think of it, what you like about it. And then in return, we give you access to all other testimonials. That way, all the other people that have left testimonial benefit from yours, and you benefit from everybody else that's done it. Okay. The other option is again, go to people you know, teach them something about business credit financing, and have them give you a quick video testimonial. Okay. The other thing is, in your back office, you've got articles and press releases that we've given you. You can easily go and put those articles online at many different article directories. You can put your press releases online, or go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and with Fiverr and with Fiverr, you can put up press releases and articles, and then you can have links here to press releases about your companies and published articles about your companies, which make you look credible. We're A-rated with a BBB. We do not pay for accreditation. We're still ranked in A. So if you have something like that that's natural, you can use that. We have funding case studies and real business credit results. I do not care if you snatch these and use these on your website as well. So if you go to creditsuite.com at the top and click on credibility, you can come to our actual case studies and our actual business credit results. You can copy these, paste them, use them on your website as well. I don't care, because you're partners. We're in this together. And then I do all kinds of podcasting interviews. So we link to the podcasting interviews, radio interviews, those type of things as well. So that's how we build our credibility page, with 6 main things. And I just showed you how to do the exact same thing basically for free, with even more, with articles, press releases, with even more. So we created a credibility page, which is an important part of the process I'm about to show you, which is why I wanted to actually pull that up. And then let's jump in and talk a little bit about the sales script. So script 1 has them coming from a referral, okay, and they're actually coming from that setter. So the script 1 is if they came from a setter. Later on, I'm going to show you a script where they didn't actually have to come from a setter. I'm pretty sure I have that built in here too. So with this one, again, all you ever have to do is just change this first paragraph. If they didn't come from a referral, if they didn't come from your setter, well, then you can just modify some things and use this however you like. I'm giving you the Word docs, so they're easy to change. Hey, my name is Ty, and the reason for my call is Blanket Forward is ABC Company and forwarded your information to us, indicating you're looking to obtain some funding for your business. You talked with Annie on our team, and she scheduled this time to talk. Is this still a good time? Yes. Awesome. If they say no, then say, oh, I'm sorry. Well, when is a good time? Is tomorrow at 4 a good time? Or is 5 better? Whatever it may be. Well, awesome. Let me verify some of the details you talked about with Annie and get a little bit more info. What's your business name? What's your business city and state? Your monthly revenue, again, is this. And I'm putting blanks here because our setter already gave us this. You told Annie you thought your credit scores were about 800. Is that correct? And you also don't have any collateral to speak of. You mentioned, Andy, that one of the biggest issues you're having now is that you're trying to put another tow truck on the road. Is that what you're looking for funds for? Well, how much are you looking to get? We didn't ask that. Annie didn't ask that question. Our setter never asked that question initially. Okay, now we come in to 2, 3, 4, and 5. If they have revenue over 10 grand a month, they qualify for cash flow financing. If they have good credit, they qualify for unsecured financing. If they have collateral, they qualify for collateral financing. If they don't have any of these or you want to sell business credit, then we go with business credit. So let's look at revenue lending. I'm going to walk you through this exact script. So based on what you just told me, you're a perfect fit for business funding. Since you have a good and consistent revenue coming into your bank account each month, you should qualify for cash flow financing. This is super fast and very easy money to obtain. Lenders don't really care about your personal credit or collateral for approval. They'll just do a quick review of your bank and merchant statements, and once that's done, you can get funding. From application to money being in your bank account, it only takes about 3 days, and you can usually get approved for about 10% or more of your annual revenue. Now, you might want to throw in breaks here, like, how's that sound to you? So you don't have to just go through a whole presentation, but the whole presentation is about a half a script, half a page, so it's not long. If that's less than what you want, then your finance officer can talk with you more about even more options you can qualify for to get you more funding as well. Or again, you can change this. You say, we can talk more instead of your finance officer. That's a great part about working with us. We can help you obtain multiple types of financing and business credit. How does all this sound? Do you like the idea of getting this type of funding? Actually, I see I already put in questions, so you don't even need to do that because I already broke it up with questions. The pitch was too long. Okay, customers didn't want us to just talk for 3 minutes without them getting a chance to talk. So we threw in these page break questions. How does all this sound to you? Do you like the idea of getting this type of funding? Yeah. Okay, great. Well, before we move forward, I'd like you to do some due diligence on who we are. I don't know about you, but I've done business with the wrong people before and been ripped off. Why are we saying this? Because this is already in their head. They don't know me. They don't know our company. They don't know who we are. This is designed to call cold traffic, right? So we're just getting the elephant in the room out of the room. Hey, look, you don't know me. You probably don't trust me. You shouldn't trust me. You don't even know who I am. It's important to me that you do know who we are, how credible our company is, and even see some real results and case studies with actual results. So I'm going to send you an email now with those details. What's your best email address? Okay, so I'll follow up with you tomorrow to talk more and get your application started. Let me look at my schedule. Will blank time tomorrow be okay for you? Perfect. To get you approved, I'll only need 6 months business bank statements, all pages. So get these together before our appointment. You can usually get them right from your online bank account with your bank. Save those to your computer and upload without needing to actually print them. Then tomorrow on our call, I'll give you a secure link so we can get those submitted to finalize your approval. Hey, before we wrap up, is there any other question you need to ask me now in order to feel completely sure and certain that we accomplish everything you want to do today? So that's the script. Sounds great. Keep an eye out for my email. I'll talk to you then. And then what we're doing is actually just sending them an email that says, hey, look, you qualify for cash flow financing. It's a great program. I think you're going to like it. Check out this link and see how credible we are. And we give them a link to that actual credibility page. Now, let's say they have unsecured financing. Let's go into that script so you can see all 3 of these funding, and then we'll dive into business credit as well. Okay, so based on what you just told me, you're a perfect fit for business funding. Conventional banks won't help you much to get financing, even if you have really good personal credit. That's because they want to see your tax returns for approval instead. But we have a program called Unsecured Business Financing that's a perfect fit for you. With this program, you can get 5 unsecured business credit cards that equal your highest credit limit account now. That's the highest revolving limit you have now on your, and then I ask them, what's the highest revolving credit limit you have now on your personal credit? Well, you should be able to get about 5 times that amount with this program. And that's also 5 times more money than you'll ever get at your bank. And even if you have a credit partner, and also if you have a credit partner who has good credit, you can get even more money. And the best part is these cards are very hard to typically find because they only report to the business reporting agencies. So they will not show up on your personal credit. This is a really big deal because bank cards that do report on your personal credit really lower your scores as you use them, because 1/3 of your consumer credit is based on your revolving utilization. Let me explain to you what I'm doing here. People with good credit, we've found, tend to think they're going to walk in their bank and get a business loan. But that's BS. It's just not accurate. Their bank really will want credit lines to get them an SBA type of loan. So they think they're going to walk in their bank and get money, and all their bank will ever give them is a credit card. So I've made several references here that we're going to get them 5 times more than their bank will get them, that we're going to get them cards that report to the business reporting agencies when their bank is only going to get them cards that report to the consumer reporting agencies. So I'm overcoming this objection in their mind that they can go to their bank and do the same thing. But since these cards only report to the business bureaus, you can even max them out and your personal scores won't change a bit. And you would build your business credit at the same time. So this makes it easier for you to get even more money in the future at great terms. Speaking of great terms, these cards also offer 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. This helps you keep your payments low, making it easier to grow your business. This is an awesome way to get a lot of funding without needing to verify cash flow or without any kind of collateral. And you can get approved within about 72 hours and get your money in a couple of weeks. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Again, I'm inputting these page breaks to make sure they have a break in the conversation to speak and I'm not just talking all over them. Keep in mind, this program, like all other loans, does have a fee involved. Not to us. You'll never pay us a dime, but the lending source usually charge about 12%. The great news is that ours actually charges under 10% because we do so much business with them. And their fees rolled into the cards you get, just like with SBA loans. So you pay no money out of pocket, and you can even use your cards to pay the fees on the cards you get. And as I mentioned, you'll pay 20% less to the lender than you normally would because of our relationship with them. To get started, I only need to get your credit monitoring login details to ensure you have 3 inquiries or less with each bureau and that your current utilization is less than 30%. If it's not, we can discuss some steps I can help with so you can still qualify. Do you have credit monitoring set up now? And then we kind of just basically go into, if not, I can help you do so. And then we have that exact same part of that script again. We stop them. Great. Look, before we move forward, let's do some due diligence. Let me send you a link to my credibility email. Now, let me do a side break here. You can try to go around this. We did. So instead of trying to send them an email and set up a secondary appointment, you can try to get the information without taking this step. But if it's cold traffic, people that don't really know you, you're going to run into barriers and objections. They won't tell you they don't trust you, but they'll give you other excuses or often hang up. So when we put this step in, it really helped a lot to build the actual credibility. The other thing is you could take them to the credibility page if they have the website in front of you while you're on the phone. I find that people like to kind of have their own time to do a little bit of their own research before they move forward. So we gave them that time and scheduled a secondary follow-up, of which over 80% of them kept it when they saw our credibility. But you will lose some if you schedule the second appointment of people that won't show up. But that's still why we decided to do it that way. If they have some kind of viable collateral, I'm going to basically skip this part because very few of the people we dealt with had any collateral. I never really saw this done except for more than a couple times. Actually, I'll try to fly through it quick because we don't have a bunch of time. I want to go through the business credit. I'm not going to. I'm going to let you look over the collateral part when you get it because this is something you'll rarely run into. So business credit, if they don't qualify for anything else or you want to sell them business credit, let's go over this one. To get an immediate loan, you need to have either consistent cash flow, good personal credit, or collateral. Since you don't have any of those now, you don't have a lendable strength, which means you aren't going to be able to qualify for a conventional or alternative loan right now. But I do have one solution that actually will work for you. If you're interested, would you like to hear about it? Yeah, I'd love to. Okay. Well, this solution is business credit, and it's a perfect fit for you. Since you don't have any lendable strength, basically, we create one for you by building your business credit. Now, this is credit for your EIN that's not linked to your personal social, so there's no personal credit check. Remember, at this point, we know we're dealing with somebody that has credit issues. By building your business credit, we do 2 things. First, we immediately get you access to real money. This is credit with vendors at most major retail stores that you can use to buy the things you need to get your business set up and growing. This solution won't give you $50,000 in cash, but it will give you well over $50,000 in real real usable credit at places like Radio Shack, spelled, that's actually right, Amazon, Walmart, Staples, Lowe's, AutoZone, Dell, Apple, and more. So let me ask you, what types of things do you need to buy for your business right now to help you get it to where it needs to be? And then we let them talk. And then what we do is we say, perfect. So without a doubt, a high limit accounts at these type of sources are going to help you. The second thing we accomplish, we build your business credit profile and score. This is what lenders are looking at. So in doing this, we make you more lendable. Instead of lenders primarily relying on your personal credit quality, now they can use your positive business credit profile, which makes you more lendable. Does the idea of business credit make sense to you? Do you like this idea? Well, let me tell you this. We'll walk you through everything step by step, from ensuring your business is set up credibly to meeting lending guidelines before you apply, to helping you get and navigate your business credit reports. We even help you fix negative accounts that may be on your reports now. And we guide you through the steps of applying and obtaining real usable credit like the sources we spoke about. And most approvals come with very high limits of $2,500 to $10 grand. Let me ask, what are some of the highest credit card limits you have now? Why am I asking this question? Because they have bad credit. We already qualified them. We know they have bad credit. Do people with bad credit have $25,000 to $10,000 limits? No, they have $500 to $1,000 limits. So people that act like there's no value to business credit, I'm taking all that out of the process because I'm letting them know, what's your highest credit card limit now? Oh, $1,000? Well, we're talking about $2,500 to $10,000 limits with business credit. One thing you'll love is with business credit, limits are easily 10 to 50 times higher than what you're used to having on the personal side. It's actually 10 to 100 times, but we put it in there to keep it as a smaller number intentionally. You can apply in one click, know the underwriting guidelines so you'll know that you can get approved before you even apply. And our team of business credit experts helps you each step of the way, calling to you to help coach you through the process, as well being available for you to call them for help. You'll be the one to apply for credit you want. Use the credit and pay the bill. Is that something you're willing to do if it means you can get access to a lot of high loans like this? Guys, this isn't just a script to pitch. This is a script to set reasonable expectations. And that's what we're doing here. Not only are we selling them business credit, but we're also coming in and setting reasonable expectations so they come in and you don't deal with chargebacks and all the problems at the same time. Well, the best part of building your business credit with us is you'll pay less than you'll pay on your own to obtain credit, because 411 listing, DUNS number setup, and Experience Smart Business are all included. Again, this is a perfect solution for you because you don't need good credit, cash flow, or collateral for approval. Plus, you can get access to high limit credit quickly and make you more lendable. Great. Before we move forward, due diligence, and then we come back and do the due diligence. Now, after we send that credibility email, here's that second follow-up script. Hey, Jim, it's Ty from Credit Suite. How you doing today? Great. I'm calling our appointment time to follow up. Did you get the email I sent you and they get a chance to review it? Now, by the way, what we also do here is we also send them the video, the 7-minute video in your back office that walks them through the actual finance suite. Okay. So what we're doing here is sending them a link to the credibility email for business credit and the finance suite walkthrough. Then when we're calling them the next day to follow up on business credit, we're asking them if they've seen the video. If they've seen the credibility page, they know we're credible. If they've seen the 7-minute video, they know what the finance suite's all about, and then they're set up to actually close. So then we're coming back. Hey, great. I'm just calling our appointment time to follow up. Did you get the email I sent you? Get a chance to review it? Yes. Great. Do you have any questions about our company or credibility before we jump in? Okay. And then you go through. Okay. As we went through in the email, did you get a chance to take a look at that 7-minute video? This is about business credit. Yes, see, I did. Great. Well, as we talked about on our last call, and then you're basically just rehashing some of the things that you talked about. You're not doing a full presentation again, but you're coming in and rehashing some of the things you did on the original presentation to actually remind them of everything you talked about and be able to close. Great. As we talked about in our last call, to get an immediate loan, you need to have cash flow, credit, or collateral. Since you don't, we're going to give you a lendable strength. Okay, I'm trying to kind of skim past this because we're almost out of time. But business credit truly is a perfect fit for you. It's perfect because you can immediately get access to real money. As you saw in the video, this is credit with vendors, and at most major retail stores you can use to buy things you need to get your business set up and growing. This isn't cash money, but you can get high limit vendor store credit in places like Amazon, Walmart, Staples, and they can sometimes get cash money with or without a personal guarantee, but I don't even want to set that expectation. So you can modify that as well. And by building business credit, become more lendable. Let's take a few minutes and look at what's on your business credit report now. I actually have it right in front of you. And this script is set up for us to pull their business credit report, basically tell them that they don't have any business credit established. So based on your report, it's clear why you're having a tough time getting approved for a loan. You just don't really have any credit reporting. That makes your business look unestablished or even like it's going out of business. This is what lenders see, and a big factor to why you can't get financing right now. It's like trying to get a home loan with a 0 credit score. It just can't happen. So you're planning on doing anything about this, like establishing your business credit? I mean, what's your current plan? And this is to basically for them to acknowledge they have no idea what they're going to do to fix their business credit. Well, look, if you're interested, I can help. Would you like to know my recommendation? I could refer you to DMD's Credit Builder, but that costs well over $2,000 and won't help you get any new credit. So what I'd really recommend is that you get set up with our business finance suite that walks you through the business credit building process step by step, helping you get real credit along the way. And this is credit that's linked to your EIN, not your social, so it'll build your business credit, and your personal credit quality doesn't matter. I can get you access to your own finance suite, which is the solution you saw in the video. And with your suite and our team will help you build your business credit step by step. You can get vendor credit immediately. Then within about 60 days, get store credit. Shortly after, you can continue to get even more store and fleet credit and have a profile that lender will want to see. So we make you more lendable while getting you access to real usable credit. How's that sound? We have a package where, and so on and so on. Okay, so would you like to know more? Okay, great. You can get started with our main program. And we tried a cheaper do-it-yourself program here as well, or the full-blown program, just to see if people would go. What we found was the smaller, cheaper program they didn't even like. We lacked credibility, and we were able to sell the higher program as well. And then you're basically going in for a close. You can get started with our main program for X payments of X, or get a discount by paying only one payment of X. Which option works better for you? And then these are loops. These are how you actually overcome objections, which I don't have time to go over with you today. And as we discussed in our last call, it looks like, and this is another follow-up script for the business loan. So this is the follow-up after the credibility email. If they're getting a business loan, this is how you get their income docs. And I won't go over this one, but again, there is a secondary script that we tested there as well. So hopefully you got a lot of good information. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead as I wrap up and ask for questions. I'm going to go ahead and put this link I talked to you about in the chat. So here's the links to these scripts. Now, you're getting them before I've done modifications. And as you clearly saw, there are things that I have to fix. I have to fix some of the wording here to make it a little bit more clear than what I actually made it. So I'm going to make some modifications, and within the next 2 days or so, the updated scripts will be in step 4.2 of your back office. Okay, but I just went ahead and gave you a link in the chat to download the actual scripts as you saw them today, so you have access to them. And again, the second part of this number 2, this is about getting their actual income docs. And I'm over time, but as I wrap up, I'll go through this real quick. It looks like you do qualify for financing. We're able to get together the income docs we talked about. Great. Let me get your information entered into our funding platform to start your approval. As I finish this, I'll email you a secure link to get your info by phone. So it's pretty simple. And then I even have another business credit script. So this is what we've tested and proven works really well. The loops are how you overcome objections when you have objections. Okay. So you have everything you need here to sell each funding product, to sell business credit. Again, the best way we found to sell is to do a real walkthrough demo where they physically see it. But even in this scenario, you're still sending them the 7-minute video that's in your partner back office resources, so you can send them that along with your credibility email. So I know you might have questions because we went through a ton of stuff today. I clicked on the link and it's not working. What are you running into when you click on that link? Hi, Ty, long time to talk. This is very good and exciting to hear. Thanks. Hey, Gene, I haven't talked to you in a while. Let me click on that link and see what happens actually. Somebody else click on the link and tell me if you're actually able to open that link I just gave you or not. If not, I will figure out why, but I would like for you to click and see if anybody else is having that problem. And let me go through here and let me make sure actions, it make public. Yes, I definitely want yes, I want to make that public. And then I'm going to go in again and I'm going to copy this again, and I will get you another link. I'll put another one in here, but this one should work just fine. I'd like for somebody else to go to the chat, download this link, and let me know if you're able to actually download it. So I just went ahead and put another link in there, and that should work. It's made public. So Eric, do me a favor, Gene, Chris, anybody else that's in here, go ahead and check and click on that link, and then let me know in the chat if this did work okay for you. Fantastic training. Very, very helpful. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. So anybody else, check that link. Make sure, just confirm that the link is working. I do want to make sure you have this. I'm going to make some modifications to the scripts. He may not have noticed it. Download. Okay. The first link worked. Okay. So who was that? Eric. They're saying that the link did work, but what happens when you click it is it doesn't open up something, it downloads something. So you got to go into your computer, into the downloads folder, and you'll see that actual download there. But the link does work. It's just, it downloads. It doesn't open up a page. When you click it, downloads a zip file right to your actual computer. So hopefully you can find that. If you can't, just type in the chat and let me know. So I talked pretty fast, right? Good thing I did, because there was a ton of stuff to go over. But you could see that on these scripts, I've given you every single thing that you need. How to sell business credit, how to sell the main funding programs, how to get them into credibility, how to get them an email with the funding video, how to get their information for actual funding when you call them on a second call. I've given you multiple setter scripts, information on how to hire setters, how to pay setters, the actual ad to hire setters. I mean, everything you need, you're good. And I wish I had more time to jump into the actual generating of business, which we'll have to do on another week. Next week, I'm going to probably be introducing somebody to you that's integrating business credit into their CRM and credit repair technology. So that's a really cool thing you're going to want to see. But in the weeks to come, I'll talk a little bit more about what we're discovering that works really well for marketing and giving you the ability to get leads. Now we talked a lot about how to close leads, so you have all the information you need to do so. So any final questions before we wrap up? Last call for questions. Okay, so you've got the scripts, but they need a little work. There was a few things I noticed in a couple sections where the numbers were a little confusing of where you go to next. I'm going to fix those things. I'm going to make some updates and corrections. Then I'm going to get those to our development team. And it's Tuesday. Probably by Thursday of this week, those should be available in your back office in step 4.2. There's a video there's 2 downloads. The right download under the video will be where you will get the updated setter and closer scripts. I will have those probably done by Thursday, definitely almost by the end of the week. I don't know how long it takes development. Usually it only takes them 1 to 2 days, but I know Megan's out of town at a conference, so hopefully they'll be there by the end of the week. But at least you have the drafts I've given you because you stayed through the actual webinar. So I don't have any other questions. I'm going to wrap this up. If you do have any questions, reach out to us to let us know. Support@creditsuite.com. Eric on our team there's several people on our team that are probably calling you to touch base, see how you're doing, see if there's anything you need. Feel free to reach out to them, especially Eric at creditsuite.com. He's a great reference. He works very close with me right here in the office, and he's actually heard these scripts in action working, so he can give you some feedback as well and help you with putting these into action and actually making sales. So no other questions. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everybody very much for taking the time to attend the webinar today. Any questions, let us know. Support@creditsuite.com. Otherwise, I will get the updated scripts out to you. Hopefully by the end of the week, they'll be in the back office. They'll be to development by the end of the day today. But again, I think Megan's out of town at a conference, so hope it might not be till Monday till she gets back, but I'm going to get it to development today. But you have the rough drafts in the meantime. So thanks everybody. Eric, email me, ty@creditsuite.com, but email me, ty@creditsuite.com, and I will email those back to you. But just so you know, the link, make sure you copy the link and take a look. It absolutely is downloading, is what everybody's saying. It downloaded on my end too. It's just what happens when you click is it downloads the file into your downloads folder, and then you have to open the zip folder, and there's two scripts in there. But if you email me, then I will get that to you. And for everybody that's not on the live webinar, you should have that in the back office, hopefully by the end of the week. So thanks everybody very much. Hope you have a great day, and hope you got a lot out of this webinar. Thanks everybody.